Alrighty, Commissioner Mitchell, the floor is yours.
Thank you kindly. I appreciate it. I guess we'll call this Friday, February 18th, programming committee meeting to order at about 8:34. With that being said, welcome everybody. And I guess, Rick, I'll let you kind of jump in and give us an update so we can kind of get this thing moving. I apologize for the lateness, but um, you want to kind of kick it in, Rick, for us? Right?
Sure, absolutely. We're going to begin business discussion with the control room booth and studio renovations. We had this week a tour of the detailed control room booth renovation site survey, where we had Amatrace come in to explain exactly what they would do in Citizens Hall, step by step, the whole process of work. I could also say that what we also did is we looked at the 4 quotes that we received from the various companies and felt Amatrace was the best with what they had to offer, based on not just the price, but what they would deliver to us, and the location where they are locally. We can also tell you that we looked at their references, and 3 references we spoke to were dynamic in terms of what Amatrace delivered, in terms of their scope of work, meeting the work, and always being available. We spoke to a reference from Gwinnett County, which has about 15 schools and 15 control rooms. I mean, we have 1, they have 15, and, they were operating, and if Gwinnett had any problems, Amatrace responded rather quickly. So, we felt really good about Amatrace and just wanted to bring forth to the programming committee as a recommendation. And, wanted to answer or ask any questions. Also, welcome Phyllis to make any further comments if she liked regarding Amatrace. She wanted.
Good morning. Rick, I think you've done a good job of explaining everything. Like you stated, we did get this quote and felt like Amatrace would be a good fit. We were pleased to have the commissioners go through the entire tour this week to see what we're dealing with, and you guys have some awesome questions that you were able to answer. He has already followed up on a couple of questions that were asked with IS. So like I said, he is responsive, very responsive, and believe he'll be a good fit. Thank you.
Got it. And I'll open the floor for those of you who may have questions, but I'll say this much though, at least Amatrace said they did an excellent job at kind of with the plan, possibly the next steps, if we move in that direction, and kind of what it would look like from the studio downstairs in Citizens Hall to the studio upstairs. And so I thought they did an excellent job. So I don't know if anybody else wants to comment. Commissioner Carthen, any additional comments to add to that?
I did have one question.
Sure.
Didn't ask when we did the walkthrough on Wednesday, but what was the cost for the final project, the entire project, including the training that we know we needed to schedule for the staff?
Rick, do you have some more solid numbers?
I know that there were, I didn't have it in front of me, but approximately 388,000 is the number that I remember reflected. Approximately $388,000.
And the projected timeline for the completion. I know he kind of went over that with us, but since we are, trying to set the public's expectations,
Sure. I think, depending on delivery of goods, we're looking about 4 months.
And when you say delivery of goods, can you?
Yeah, from parts. I'm sorry, when I say delivery of goods,
Uh-huh.
talking about parts and equipment that they need, because of COVID and getting items from whether it's Japan or parts from Australia getting shipped. He talked about the backlog, which is has been a global problem for businesses and companies.
Mhm.
It addressed that, but the timeline he was looking at was approximately 4 months.
So we just want to set the expectations of the community, so that they will know, be patient, the upgrades are coming. We do get from time to time emails and questions regarding audio, regarding streaming, regarding, site being down on DCTV 23. So just want the public to know that we are addressing these issues. We are updating the equipment. We are updating the services so that there will be no interruptions. So just please pardon our deaths while we try to reorganize and get things moving in the right direction. So, but no, Amatrix, I thought, did a great presentation. He was very thorough. We're getting updated equipment and a new upstairs studio. And so I was well pleased with what they presented. And I am just supporting and depending on staff to make sure that those things that he brought to our attention are executed. And so, Rick, my last question would be, who will be project managing this? Would that be you? Would that be Ryan? Who would be the one that, at any time we could ask questions of to make sure that the project is meeting its intended goal and it's staying on budget?
Sure. What we had from the beginning is from our past county administrator, we had Phyllis deal with them. We deal with all of our vendors and what have you. But right now we're transferring that to me as the final person, being director of the department. So I'll be project managing it in terms of the budget and making sure things are square.
Okay, so then that would be you or either Director Perry or Director Stanley would be our two go-tos. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Well, that's all the questions I have. I yield, Commissioner Mitchell.
So on that note, so Rick, can we? Because there was a few questions that we asked, and I don't have them off the top of my head that we are looking for some feedback on, to include the timeline as mentioned by Commissioner Carthen. So can we kind of, as that being you the point person, can we kind of put together that kind of a timeline of what it looks like? And I understand that the deliverables could take, some unique times based on this COVID, the challenge we've got to deal with when it comes to delivering equipment and all that good stuff. But I think if we put that on paper and we can all see it as a committee and see how it's moving and understand that if there's a delay based on, this challenge that we got with deliverables, then we'll kind of see that moving forward as it moves along through the process. So can we provide that like more of a weekly or bi-weekly update, with this committee along with the Board of Commissioners?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
To include, the dollars and cents. From my understanding, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, I know we should be under budget based on the numbers that was told. And Phyllis, you might can help out on this because there's a different cost for the studio upstairs as well as the studio downstairs to include all the other equipment. And based on just a rough estimate, we should be under budget in all of this, correct?
Yes, sir. I was just pulling the figures and I've written them down, rounded. The downstairs, the booth is running about 214,000. The studio upstairs is about 150. $150,000, and the set bill, was about $41,000.
So to answer Commissioner Carson, your question, I think we should be in budget for sure. But I will caution us to understand that the cost of doing business, there's an incline here. So don't be surprised if by chance a piece of equipment or anything else could somehow get out of whack just because of supply and demand. But that needs to be
And he also says that he's gonna work with us, as he mentioned, that, he's gonna do the project.
Phyllis, your audio sounds a little bit muffled. I don't know if there's something you could adjust to hear you clearly. She went on mute.
Is that better?
just speak a little bit louder, Phyllis, if you would.
Sorry, I tend to be a low voice when I'm doing things like this, because I want to be on point and make sure I'm explaining things properly. I just gave you the figures. He also said that as the equipment came in, they would be installed in bulk segments. And he also advised us, he would talk to us about any equipment as far as how, if something needs to be replaced, that we would discuss that before, to make sure we're on point with pricing.
Got it. But so with that being said, though, let's make sure this committee for sure, along the Board of Commissioners, are kind of seeing this thing through and assuring that the numbers, if they have to be adjusted and whatever they are based on the economy, then we'll deal with it accordingly. But I just want to know, and I think this committee and the Board of Commissioners would just like to know kind of where we are, what are the steps, and kind of what the future looks like, and what that timeline is in getting it done and completed. Am I correct in that, Commissioner Carson?
Absolutely. We just want to, ensure that everybody is on the same page going forward. And I know I have got assurances from Director Perry that he will be updating the board on a weekly basis with ongoing projects. So it's just one of those that needs to be added in his weekly report to us. So you're right, yeah, so that everybody has the same information at the same time, so that if constituents ask us or we're wondering, we could just go to the report and get assurance as to where we are within the project.
So with that being said, Rick, are we clear kind of how we're moving?
Yes. We are clear in terms of moving forward. We'll make sure Director Perry gets weekly reports and have those reports provided for the programming committee as well as the Board of Commissioners.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that vein, though, Rick, is it possible that once you get the updates, we don't need to be trying to wait to have a committee meeting to get an update? It needs to be kind of emailed and put out there, weekly.
Absolutely.
No matter where we are, it's just that we just need to know where we are. So
No, absolutely. As a matter of fact, Director Perry informed the directors, department heads of weekly updates at the most recent executive meeting that we're going to be providing weekly updates on our general work, so the Board of Commissioners are aware, and I can easily provide, a specific update in regards to this project, in addition to everything else that the Communications and Community Relations Department will be doing.
But we're clear. So you definitely did provide the information to both this committee, just when you get it. And,
yes, sir.
And I don't think we would be mad at you if you gave us 2 or 3 other days of it. It doesn't matter. It's within the week. Just as long as you keep this committee in tune with where we are and kind of how we're moving and where the project is, dollars and cents, and how long and this project could even actually take, while doing the same thing with the executive team with Frederick. But just make sure that this committee kind of shoot that email out, in the rawest form, so that we'll know. even though Fred will be giving us an update as well on your
Yes,
behalf.
sir.
Okay, good enough.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with that being said, anything else to in reference to the Amatrace?
No, just for clarity sake, since I've been here with the Board of Commissioners, in terms of steps and process, so we're just ready to move forward. In terms of having the agreement signed.
And I'm ready to get there. That's where I'm going next.
Okay.
Yeah, that's next on what we need to do. Actually, is there a need for a vote to move forward with this particular project under the auspice of Amatrace, rather, as the handling this particular project and programming? If so, I guess we should probably get a motion on the floor to move forward with these guys based on and you'll get us some real numbers. But I know the estimate showed me from based off my numbers that we're under budget, but at least we've got the monies in the budgets to carry this. So with that being said, can we get a motion to kind of move forward with this particular Amatrace to move forward with this particular project as a recommendation from this particular board or committee rather?
Commissioner Mitchell, I make a motion that we recommend Amatrace to move forward with the scope of work for the price as recorded in the contract, and ask that we move it forward to the Board of Commissioners for a vote and signing of the contract.
Is there a second? I'll second it. All righty. Okay, so with that being said, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any other comments or questions surrounding this particular item before we vote? Okay, with that being said.
I do have just one, Commissioner Mitchell. What was the full budget allocated for this particular project?
I want to,
but just out of curiosity.
Let's say if I remember correctly, and I wish Fred and you guys were on here, I want to say, and Phyllis, you guys help me out. I want to say it was almost about $500,000, like 480 something or 450, somewhere in that ballpark. So I don't want to concretely say that. I would rather, these guys kind of. That's why I said, okay, so within this motion, can we make sure we get real numbers to be when it goes to the full board? We'll know the exact numbers of what is budgeted as to what the numbers are when it comes to Amatrace and what their numbers are, saying what they can do the project for.
Understood.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
I just don't remember exactly, but I know it was almost about 4 something in the budget for it though.
And this is coming out of ARPA funds that we allocated for technology. So this will actually be out of the technology budget, not the communications budget, correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you. I yield.
Okay. So with that being said, within the motion, we'll add that condition to make sure that we get when we come for the full board, we'll know the true numbers, the real numbers of what's budgeted and what the items, covering from the sound booth upstairs, downstairs, equipment, everything in that particular motion for when the full board receives it. So we'll know what those numbers are. Okay? Everybody okay with that?
Mitchell,
Yes.
for point of clarity, and like you mentioned, we will
Gotta speak up a little bit louder.
as a point of clarity, and we will double check the figures and where the money's coming from. It was about 100,000, which you're saying $500,000, and it was set aside specifically for communications. It's not coming out of IS's budget. IS have a separate budget from this in the ARPA funds, but we will clarify that and get the solid information for you.
Okay, that's fine. But I know it's ARPA funds, Commissioner Cartman. But we'll get the details. Anything else? Okay. With that being said, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Commissioner Cartman, yay or nay?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Mitchell, yes. Rick?
Yes.
Phyllis?
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you are a voting member, correct? I don't want to call on anybody that.
Yes, she is.
Okay. And I think Fred would be the only other voting member. So with that being said, we have a 4-0 vote unanimously voting to move this forward to the Board of Commissioners. And it passes with a 4-0 vote. Let's move on to the next one. If there's anything else. Great.
Sure. Moving on to the next. On our agenda, MMI production agreement. This is a agreement provided to us, and I defer to Commissioner Carthen because she was asked to facilitate this to help support us as we work towards, the production of services. As we work through the renovations and process, we still want to make sure that we have the demands of our responsibilities met in terms of coverage of events and work of our citizens, of our commissioners towards the public. And Commissioner Carthen, if you wanted to comment
Sure.
further.
Sure. Thank you, Rick, for yielding the floor to me. Just as Director Martin said, Media Miracles contract was asked to be reinstated. And this was coming from Chairman Jones. And I told her I would take the ball and run with it since I was in the on the programming committee. However, didn't know that we were going to have a special call meeting this morning. So the contract was actually handled yesterday in the Purchasing Oversight Committee. So our new Purchasing Oversight Director, Ms. Ammons, is looking at the contract and making sure that the prior contract can just be a continuation of services since the contract was not fulfilled, it was stopped. So actually it's already being handled, but just wanted to give this committee an update in the respect of knowing that we are putting in some support services for our communications department. We know that they are overwhelmed and we are an active bunch on the Board of Commissioners, and really this department is the forward-facing voice and face for our constituents. And so we just wanted to make sure that we had the support that Media Miracles provided prior and just moving forward. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. I yield.
So are there any questions? Okay. So at this point, Commissioner Carthen, other than acknowledging the mere fact of making this committee aware of kind of where that is and what's kind of going on, that's all this is. There's no action that needs to be taken, correct?
No, Commissioner Mitchell, there's no action that is needed.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
If I may say, I just want to thank Commissioner Carthen for understanding the support that we need and recognizing how busy our department is, and to compound renovations and moving and transitioning to update equipment. We appreciate the support and don't want to let that go without being said. At our department, on behalf of our department, thank you very much for the support. It's recognized that we're trying to do the best we can to not just meet the standards expected from the Board of Commissioners, but to exceed those standards. We're growing, and we're going to, we know that MMI could support us in that respect. So again, thank you, Madam Carthen.
And I'll also add though that I think this is a great move in the right direction of actually supporting you guys and moving all the projects that we got going on when it comes to filming and in the community stuff that all of the Board of Commissioners does. So I think it's going to be a big help. Just one quick question though, Commissioner Carson, is there a time frame around this? I know we started those guys, stopped them, and now they're back again, which is good. I am excited. I'm glad that they, were willing to take, another trip with us. So is there a time frame? Are we just looking at this for us and this committee along for this Board of Commissioners? Is this an annual deal? Is this going to be for the next 6 months or the next 3 months or the next 5 projects? Or is there any kind of time frame in this? Or there's just a dollar associated with it? When they run out of the dollar, that's it.
So right now, Ms. Ammons is looking at the contract and the continuity. But it will be before the Board of Commissioners on our next March agenda meeting. So before then, I will make sure that Ms. Ammons gets you that information. I want to say off the top of my head, so don't hold me to this, that this is a 6-month contract. If it needs to go longer, because I know, the communications department is, anticipating the equipment coming in, and 4 months, but 4 months may turn into 6 months, which may turn into 9 months. So, we will take a look at it, and don't hesitate to send Ms. Ammons an email, Director Martin or either Commissioner Mitchell, if you guys, I'm new at this, I'm new on your committee. And so technology is my baby, but programming, communications, I'm not that person. I'm learning, because you guys, Mr. Mitchell, y'all are the gurus at this. So if you think 6 months is not enough time, please, let them know so that Ms. Ammons can negotiate that with Media Miracles.
Right. And the only, and I heard this was it yesterday on the program, on the purchasing oversight committee? I think I heard it yesterday or day before, whenever it was. I'm losing the time frame. But with that, that was my only concern, was the timing of the shifting of equipment and studio and blah, 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 and what kind of time frame we got with them. Is it project based or is it time based? And I know, because if it's time based, we may, use up our time trying to do the studio build out and everything else, when not using them at all, but still having to pay them because the timing is off, because the equipment is off. So we'll discuss it. We'll do this offline. We'll do this offline. But thank you again. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay. All right. I mean, anything else, Rick?
Sir, no, I don't have anything else. There's nothing else on the agenda
Got it.
to discuss, sir.
Thank you. Anything on behalf of outside of the MMI, Commissioner Carson, that you want to add?
No, Commissioner Mitchell, nothing else.
Phyllis?
No, sir, I'm clear with the direction. Thank you.
Making this easy. All right. Okay, guys. Well, on that note, I don't have anything else to add. I guess we'll catch up, and Rick, I guess I'll close in saying we're looking for those updates, and as soon as you get them in real time, I think this committee would love to see them, hear them, find out where we are. Nothing is too small to know about. So
Understood.
Don't hesitate to send it, because you only have just that much of information. But I think just knowing where we are is what's going to be important here. So outside of that, thank you again. And guys, I appreciate it. You guys enjoy your Friday and your weekend. And I guess this meeting will stand adjourned.